friends, reptiles, people already complaining about Easter chocolate in the shops. I don't care what anyone says, Easter chocolate is the best part of January. I don't care how long the mini eggs are going to be around for, I'm just glad they're here. Back in October of 2020, I did a Halloween challenge where I did a different costume from my wardrobe for every day of the month. And these were based on some prompts that I was given by my friends and followers. October 2023, I had another go. I went back into the jar. I got a couple more prompts. And if you were around for October 2023, you'll remember that I did too many costumes and didn't have time in one video to cover them all. I told you there were 3 more looks and you'd see them in a future video. This is that future video. It's finally here. If you didn't see that first video, I recommend it because there'll be the odd bit that doesn't make a lot of sense, but generally speaking, I get a 5 words or less prompt and then I dive into all of the clothes and costume items. I let myself use the fancy stuff this time around, and I try and make a costume that accurately conveys that prompt, sort of explaining my thought process and what I'm doing along the way. The whole point of this is supposed to show that you don't have to make a new dedicated costume for every single LARP character that you do. You just need to be able to think a little bit creatively about the stuff you already have. So anyway, let's go back in time and let past Ash show you some outfits. Respectable widow, Regency era. I can do this in like 5 minutes. For reasons, I was on eBay and I was like, I wonder if people are using Bridgerton as a search term for a specific style of dress, and lo and behold, they are. I have the purple one, which I don't think would be appropriate because it's very much not a respectable dress. It's purple velvet with gold embroidery on it. And then I have one that's hot pink, and then, no, I have a dark blue one. Hang on. Ta-da! This is not like a special or modern dress. In fact, as you can probably tell by the weird roses on the back of it, this is from the 80s. You can get 80s prom dresses. We don't have prom in the UK, but I know what it is because I've seen TV. You can get dresses from the 80s that look plausibly Regency-esque for under a tenner. It's super easy. I understand why so many LARPs end up set in the Regency period because it's so easy to kit. So we're going to wear this. We're going to wear like a shawl. I'm going to have to wear a wig. So I think the meat of what's going to make this exciting is actually going to be the hairstyling. So let's get on to that. All right, door's going to be open, so it's going to be really messy behind me because I have to run in and out to go to the mirror. Dress is on, wig is on. You can get really into historical hairstyling, right? There's very specific things that happen in different periods, and you can get into the authentic tools and and if you want something that is like accurate, you should absolutely do that. It's lots of fun and it's not that hard. Surprise, human hair has not changed over history. Well, if you're trying to do historical hairstyles with your natural hair, maybe don't wash it for a few days because the cleanliness isn't so much an issue, it's the vast quantities of additives in all of our products. So most generally available modern hair products, at least in the UK, are designed for people with very straight hair, not even designed for people with white person curls, let alone anything else. You end up with a lot of very heavy additives in there that'll just weigh it down, and that is not great for doing historical hairstyles. However, as you can clearly see, I am using a wig, so this is not a historically accurate hairstyle, but for basically anything in the Victorian period, which, by the way, bangs, fine. You can have a fringe in the Victorian period. That's pretty common. Not always. 1830s through, I want to say 60s, prefers a centre part with no fringe, but certainly the Regency and the 1818s, you can get away with a fringe. It's fine. But also, we're not doing this historically accurate, so it doesn't matter. I'm going to show you the simplest updo, and I'm going to show you what I'm specifically doing to make it look more Regency, and it is not that hard. First things first, what you're going to do is you're going to take the front sections of hair and you're going to do a little twisty twist to about your ear. Just like that, and you're going to do the same on both sides, and then you're going to pin them or put a hair tie on them in the back, like so. Okay, so now you've got the dreaded like half up hairdo going on, but we're not going to stop there. The next thing, if you're not doing a Regency hairstyle, you can skip the decorating spot that I'm about to do, but the decorating spot that I'm about to do is very Regency, which is just to have bands on your head. Where are my pearls? This is just a cheap strand of pearls. Yeah, I also didn't know there was such a thing as a cheap strand of pearls, but there is. So I've just made a figure 8, right? This is 2 loops. And it's going to go on top. I'm not letting go because if I do, it'll fall over my head. But you're going to arrange them nicely. So you've got one sitting pretty far forward and one sitting a bit further back. And you're going to pin the hell out of that. Okay, so we've got these. They're pinned in place. Then you have 2 options. One is that you can braid all of this into one big thick braid. The other option is that you can just kind of twist it together. But either way, all you're going to do is get it all in a lump, take it up, do a loop, 1 loop, and you're going to pin that to the back of your head. Again, go heavy on the pins. And quite genuinely, that is basically it. If I was going to LARP in this, I would put a lot more pins in it. I'm only going to stand in front of a camera for 5 minutes, so I've done like 6. The final thing that you can add, one thing that is quite nice is if you've got like a brooch or something and you've got a friend who you trust, you can get them to pin it to the middle of your bun thing. Or if you've got, I've got these combs, so you can stick those in your hair. They also just help keep everything in place. This basic updo, changing out the decorations, you can replace these pearls with, if you've got extra bits of hair that are braided, you can pin those in. This will do you for an awful lot of generically historical feminine hairdos, and it's not that hard. I think a lot of people get intimidated by doing historical stuff because there's just so much. This is not a lot. If you practice 2 or 3 times, even if you've never done hair before, I think you'll get this. It'll be fine. This is the awkward stage of the video where I can't hide that I'm having snacks between shots. It's a lot of effort getting dressed up in clothes. What do we have next? Post-apocalyptic warlord. I do not do post-apocalyptic. Not entirely sure how that made it into the prompts list in the first place. Probably I thought I was going to challenge myself. I think where we start with this is we start with my science fiction kit. So straight off the bat, I have this. This is a jumpsuit made in white twill and a variety of sheer pink fabrics. It has... yeah. I think this is a good starting place, especially because it also has... this, I think, is a dust mask for mountain bikers. I say I think. Not much call for dust masks in the UK. It's usually too wet. But this feels like an okay starting place. So what else have I got that would go? I feel like a broken record, but post-apocalyptic to me means layers. What else have we got? So this is one of the few genuinely post-apocalyptic-esque things I think I have, which is this distressed lab coat. Yeah, we can maybe make that work. I also have my... again, I mainly wear this for cyberpunk and sci-fi stuff, but this is my tactical armor. I bought the one that's for children because I am so small. This isn't really turning into an outfit. What if... am I thinking about this the wrong way? Should I actually be going more... what would happen if I mixed in some fantasy stuff? Hang on. Okay, I maybe have some ideas now. So I've got a couple of scarves. These are just regular, those super lightweight scarves that you get that people call pashminas that aren't pashminas. This is maybe just weird enough that I can incorporate it. This is actually entirely hand woven, but it's a bit of a sampler piece. It's all done in different kinds of yarn. I also found this, which is one of my early lockdown projects that I just, for some reason, made myself a quilted pleather waistcoat. Ooh, this is my emergency raincoat that I have because it's so lightweight I can actually hide it under other kit and wear it to fantasy games. I think that could work. And then I think I want belts, belt pouches, maybe a surcoat. Ooh, maybe I should grab a surcoat. I think we're getting somewhere. Let's try it. Okay, so this is becoming a game of tactical decisions. Unfortunately, there's no way anyone's going to see that because this is a base layer. I probably should have thought of that. I would have thought of that if I was making this costume specifically, but I'm not. So, oh, I have so much stuff. What goes on first? I think the armor? I think the armor. LARPers love this stuff because it's like, ooh, tactical. It looks like you're a BBC reporter or something. It's complete garbage. It's not going to protect you from anything, but it looks pretty neat. All right, then I think it should be the coat. Hang on, the coat, the surcoat. Then I'm going to do something with the scarves. Then, do I want the quilted jacket on top? Or do I want the quilted waistcoat under the scarves? We're going to try the quilted waistcoat under the scarves to start off with. I think that's what we're going to do. It's feeling overly busy, but isn't that what a post-apocalyptic is, aesthetically? Overly busy. I don't know, I'm just gonna keep adding to it and see if anything good happens. I have some thoughts. Does it hit apocalyptic? Yeah, actually, I think I'm doing okay on that front. It occurred to me as I was doing this that a more intelligent way of going about it, given that the Celestial Bureaucrat came together really quickly and really easily because I had a really strong idea. I know what universe you exist in, I know what story role I want you to play. That made the costume come together very easily, even though I tried out a bunch of stuff. Is this raincoat just gonna rustle all the way through my audio and this is gonna be unusable? Did not think that through. So it did occur to me that if I thought about what is the nature of this apocalypse and what role does this character play in the story, and you know, being a warlord, how does this culture signify wealth or power or resources? Right now I think I'm a little bit more post-apocalyptic investigative researcher. I feel like the person that you meet on the road and they're like, can't talk, must science, and they go off and do some bonkers stuff. They're a little bit unhinged. They're clearly very intelligent, but also bad at people. Isn't everyone in a post-apocalyptic setting bad at people? Isn't that a staple of the genre for some reason? I don't know why people would enjoy that. This is my problem, right? I don't do post-apocalyptic. I don't consume post-apocalyptic media. My partner really wants to watch The Last of Us, and I've been trying to brace myself to do it for months. Not just an apocalypse, but a zombie apocalypse, and not just a zombie apocalypse, but cordyceps? Really? Why? I understand it's very good. I'm not sure this turned out. Let's try again. Okay, so that was solidly a mixed success. I was just going to take them as they come. Let's see if we can find one that's a little bit more of a slam dunk. Oh yeah, Imperious Fey Noble. So the wonderful thing about doing fancy nobility style costumes is that it's not what will I wear, it's which one will I wear. Ooh, so straight off the bat, I have this dress, which you've probably never ever seen me wear because I was making it in a real hurry and I didn't have time to get hooks and eyes. So it's got 4 hooks and eyes and they're only here when it's open from here to here. So I've got to wear something over that is what I'm leaning at. And I think I know what I want. We're going fae, we're going nobility, we're going extra, but also nature. Fae love nature. So I have this dress, which was £20 off eBay, and not what I was looking for, but it was £20. So I have this dress. I don't know if those two are going to play nice together, but we can try it. You know, what's the worst that can happen? And that's going to give me the high collar. They're both tight sleeves and big skirts. Probably add a petticoat just for volume. I feel like I want some sort of robe. All the big long robes that I have are really dark, and I don't want to add something heavy and black over the top of gold and pink and floral. I don't really have any cloaks that... Oh no. No, I do. So this is a cloak that I own. We're not going to talk about why I own it. This is not the time to get into my dark cosplay past. I think that's going to probably about do it. I'll add some jewelry. Do I want a crown? So the tiaras that I have are not particularly conducive to this outfit. I have this one, which I think the red is going to clash with the purple and pink way too much. And then I have this one, which is a completely different color story. I could completely rethink the outfit. Oh no, you know what I do have? I think we all know who the winner is here. And then I'll need some like accessories and stuff. We can make that happen. I'd love to do makeup, but as previously discussed, that's not gonna happen. Yeah, all right, let's do this. So I'm remembering why I don't usually wear this cloak. I was a relatively inexperienced sewist when I made this. I was maybe 20? That sounds about right. Maybe 20 years old when I made this cape. I hadn't been sewing for very long. I was on a deadline. The design I was working from, it was very minimalist comic book art, I think is probably the most neutral way of putting it. I had to make some weird accommodations, and as such, this cape, the weight hangs off two straps, which you tie around your arms. That's not inherently a problem, but then I would pin this is actually a collar. I would pin it to my shoulders so it all fit. I'm not pinning anything to this dress. It's embroidered tulle. That would be a disaster. I realized that once the dress was on, even though the sleeves are sheer and so the gold comes through and that looks really good, and you've got the collar cape's getting messed up because it's this doesn't fasten. I don't think I'd have that problem if I'd actually put closures on it, proper closures on it. But then you couldn't see a lot of the gold. It was just like the neck and that, so I tucked in a bit of elastic because that was what I had to hand, and voila, easiest thing in the world. So this is low in the back and that's why I can do it so easily, but safety pin your skirts up and suddenly you have a draped high-low thing going on. It's that easy. Anyway, none of this is the main event, so let's put that on. Couple of things. So this is two pieces. There's a mask and there's the halo. And I think when this halo was designed, they imagined that you would be pinning it to your hair. You see my problem. This is by a company called Hysteria Machine. I say company, I think it's a small business. I think it's one person. And this just is not going to stay in place, is it? Okay, we'll just let it hang. I have another of these, the horned crown design. I wore that to an entire LARP event and it was fine. I took it off sometimes, but it generally was fine. This one, the pomegranate mask, I think is heavier. I think there's just more going on here, and I think also the pomegranates themselves are quite heavy. Having said that, it's not heavy. It looks like metal. It's not, mostly. It's mostly resin. It's what's called a blind mask, so actually under here there is a grill. I can see what I'm doing. I can see the camera just fine. This is a bit precarious. So while I can see, because it's a little heavier than my other blind mask, and this is not anchored in the way that I would quite like it to be, because I don't have any hair really to pin it to, and this dress is just slightly too long. I'm not wearing shoes, by the way. Wearing shoes would probably help, but also you can't see my feet, so it doesn't matter. All of this is to say, if I was going to wear this to an event, which I would love to do, because look at me, I'd want a handler. I'd want a human to make sure that I didn't trip over myself and go face first into the ground. But I'd be playing a noble, so that's a reasonable thing to ask for as an NPC, I feel. Anyway, not as many pieces as some of the other ones, but still, I think this worked. So that was the remaining 3 outfits from the video I did back in October. I've still got a whole bunch more prompts, like let me know if you want to do this again. I had a lot of fun. We could absolutely make this a more regular part of the channel if that's something that you enjoy. And of course, don't forget to go back and watch the first video if you want to see the 4 other outfits that I did, which I'm just saying were quite good. I was very proud of them. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to keep the YouTube gods happy. Follow me on other platforms to see pictures of my cat. I swear I'll post another TikTok one day. And down in the description box you'll find a link to my Ko-fi page where you can make a one-off or reoccurring donation to support this channel and my slightly problematic eBay habit. Only not really, because as I've mentioned previously, currently the Ko-fi goal is to get me an embroidery machine, and I am already trying to learn how to use an embroidery machine. So it's probably a good thing that that's going to take a while. They're complicated. Ko-fi supporters get early access to all of my videos, and I couldn't do what I do without their help. I've got some really awesome projects in the work for this year, and I cannot wait to share them all with you. But until then, dream big, and I'll see you next time. No puss? Of course he buggers off as soon as I start filming. Christmas has to wait until after October 31st, but Easter can come as early as it wants.